I'd like to talk about Running Wild, written by J.G. Ballard in 1988.
The story revolves around the Pangburn massacre and the 32 mysterious killings along with the disappearance of 13 children. We follow forensic psychiatric advisor Dr. Richard Gravel and his investigations, observations, thoughts and theories through his forensic diary. During the investigation, Gravel teams up with Sergeant Payne. As Gravel gets further and further into the case, he comes up with several theories. However, the police department rejects his theories. Even though Gravel had the most obvious conclusion, which was the fact that the murderers were the children themselves, he found the conclusion quite hard to believe. In the end, after Gravel's reconstruction of the Pangburn massacre, he discovers how the children interacted, communicated with each other, lost their motive, why they would murder their own parents. However, the Home Office refused to believe his theory and declared the case open and unsolved. 5 years later, Gravel writes a postscript to follow up on his previous thoughts and theories. We hear about the children supposedly had attempted another murder on a former British Prime Minister, although he was unharmed and the attackers were fought off. Gravel comes up with a theory that the children will strike again at any authorities and parental figures.
The story takes place in England from 1988 and 5 years forward. Most of the investigation is carried out in Pangburn Village, a high-class fenced-off neighborhood in the Pangburn area west of London. The Pangburn Village consists of 10 houses, each with their own swimming pool, projection theatres, and optional stables. You get the feeling that everything in the village has to be perfect and clean. The children all have various spare time activities, go to the same expensive private school, get good grades and receive extraordinary amounts of praise from their parents, along with their teachers. However, when reading the story, the village is portrayed to be very cold and cynical, which gives the reader a more negative view on the seemingly perfect village.
The language in the book is very formal and objective, with only a very few hints of what the writer is actually feeling. This is probably due to the fact that we are reading Gravel's forensic diary, which would be published in a paper or something similar, and therefore should have a very anonymous and objective language.
The story is told as though we are reading a diary, meaning it is written in the first person. The narrative mode is mostly descriptive, meaning there are many details but not much dialogue. And the narrative voice reflects the fact that the narrator is very well educated, mainly because he uses a very formal and objective language. The narrator is not omniscient.
The story starts with a short introduction explaining what the current situation is. The ending is partially open as it ends with being an unsolved case. However, the ending does not have the suspense an opening ending often has. The ending is quite predictable, although we do not get a definite closure on the story. The story progresses chronologically as we're reading the diary as Gravel wrote it. There's no real climax in the story, as the massacre is explained very professionally and rationally, with no suspense or surprises along the way. If we were to choose one of the composition models, the pyramid plot structure would be the best fitting, although there is no real climax in the story. There's a bit of suspense where the murders are reconstructed and described in detail. This suspense could be shown as a single point in the pyramid point structure model.
After the ending of the story, a few sections follow describing some of the founders of modern psychology and psychiatry, including Freud, Skinner, Pavlov, and R.G. Laing. We also hear about the psychology and sociology in general, and about the different ways to alter the behavior of an individual. These are most definitely used to provide some background for the reader, to help them understand what may have happened at the Pangburn massacre. Furthermore, we read about the different theories concerning the aspects on how behavior is understood, e.g. Skinner's black box theory. According to Skinner, behavior is understood when it can be controlled by specific changes in the environment. Additionally, there's no need to trace behavior to states of mind, feelings, traits of character, human nature, and so on.